Hello, 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 people. Welcome to hello, everyone. Welcome to the trip. As you can see, that's a new intro. Spent a little time on that, and I could have done a little bit more. I feel like I could do a lot more, but I think it was cool. How you feeling, Tony? Do you like the intro?
Hey, yeah, I like the intro. I liked when you first sent the images
Yep.
4 or 5 days ago.
Cool. Spencer?
Excellent
Yeah.
intro, Gary. Excellent work.
Cool.
Excellent work.
Thank you.
The Volkswagen bus is the excellent. What's the inspiration for the Volkswagen bus?
Because we're going on a trip, and usually go on a trip in a bus, VW bus especially. At least that's when I remember going on. I've gone on many a trip in a VW bus because one of my buddies, he loved Volkswagens, and so yeah, that's how we traveled around in his bus. So there you go. That's why the VW bus is there. All right, we'll say hi to a couple people who have joined us. Got BX in the house. Welcome to the show, BX Connor from the Boogie Down. Yes. Got Moss in the house. Welcome to the show. Am I tripping? Yes, you are. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they did bring back the VW bus. I didn't realize they brought it back. All right.
It's called something else. It's
They had something
electric
else that looked like
vehicle.
a VW bus, but with a new name. But yeah. No, they should.
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of abbreviations for different technology and nothing.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Of
All
course,
right.
that's something the Germans would do.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. This is our preseason show. Arsenal season, English football. I guess Premier League football because Championship and League One has already started. All the leagues have started, anyways. But Premier League will be this time next week. We will have played one game, and hopefully we're happy with it. But we'll get into that. We'll get into the transfer business and then some. And like, did you guys get to watch it, the game this
I
weekend?
did not. I did not. I was busy on Saturday, but I wasn't going to pay the $13 whatever it's going to be to watch both games. I just didn't do it. I saw the highlights.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Tony.
Same here.
Yeah, no, I didn't buy it either. Actually, I was kind of traveling. That's why we didn't have our show. So, well, that's why. Yeah, I was traveling. That's why. Yeah, I was traveling, but I still had my show because I wanted to do a preseason show. But I wasn't gonna, like you said, pay for it. And then I heard people having problems with it before, so I was like, you know what? Nah, I won't even bother spending the money. And then I wasn't gonna watch it, and then I jumped on a show where they were watching it anyway. So there you go. Got Mom on the show. Welcome to the show, Mom. Yes. So,
Yeah, I just miss being able to watch it on ESPN or
I think
Paramount or one of those. Is where they used to
yeah,
stick those.
the other preseason games were on like CBS Sports Network, which comes with my Yahoo TV, I believe. So, or not Yahoo, YouTube TV. So I got to watch all those preseason games, but these last two, not being able to watch any of it. Well, yeah, being able to watch any of them. Didn't really want to watch that game against Villarreal. I don't think that was a good game, but this game I would have liked to have seen this last one here. Moss bought. He paid extra. Oh, he paid less because he did it early. Okay. Yeah, no, I got to see the first CBS Sports Network was for the international games, but the local games, not so much. So let's get into it. At least I'm gonna. I don't know if you got. Since we last talked, I know did we talk about any of the preseason games before we went on a little hiatus? I don't even.
No, we did not.
Okay, so there were 5 games. We won the first 2, lost the next 2, and then won the last one. Um, personally,
Which means absolutely nothing.
well, yes and no. I'm gonna say I like to, and I say this all the time. What you practice the way you play. So if you don't practice well, I don't think you play well. And so I don't. I think we didn't see anything in those first 2 games, at least that I saw, that led me to believe that we were going to change much. I don't know what you guys felt about the first 2. We won those first 2. I think we played AC Milan, and then we played. Who else did we play? I forgot who the second game was, but we won those first 2. I don't know. Do you remember? Anybody remember who we played?
Newcastle, I think,
The
because we had Milan, then Newcastle, then them, then Villarreal. Yeah,
you're right.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, so we Newcastle. So those first 2 games, we got the wins in those. But I don't know if you guys saw anything in those first 2 games that led you to believe, like, look, we might change the way we're going to play. I didn't
No,
think so.
but
Go ahead, Tom.
more of the same is what I saw from a little bit of clips I saw when I was still in the hospital. But
Mm.
I just hopefully we see changes coming on later. But it just seems like it's to be more of a same.
Mm. Yeah, Spencer, what did you see in those first 2 games? Because I don't know if you got the chance to see those or.
I only
not.
got to see the second half of AC Milan, and then I got to see the second half of Newcastle because I didn't wake up in time. But the big person that stuck out to me was Max Dowman. He seemed to be very direct. I really didn't learn much because I didn't think our starting 9 was out there, so you weren't really going to see a different style of attack. Although there's people claiming that we're being a little bit more direct this time, which I think they will have to be. But I didn't really learn much. I did learn, and I'm going to go to that Spurs game. David Raya, like I had people, the goal that was given up with Lewis Skelly.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people are going to say, well, yeah, Richarlison fouled him, Lewis Skelly and everything. And it's like, why are we passing the ball to a guy that's got 3 players on him when the wings are wide open? So my question then becomes, like David Raya, like, are you on the hot seat for Kepa too? Like, so that's something I was thinking about when I was burnt up over that Raya mistake in that Spurs game. Because to me, that's unacceptable. Like you're so far out of your goal already. I just saw some things out of Raya in the first 2 preseason games that had me worried. That's it. That's really the 2 points that I took away.
But we see those back passes several times a year where you could easily either just boot it out of bounds or, like you said, pass it to the wings. There are things you can do there besides put your goalkeeper in trouble.
I agree.
Yeah. I was in a chat, and I pretty much resolved the opinion like most of you. Why would you make that pass through the middle when you have people? There were 5 to 7 defenders in the middle of the pitch that we had to traverse through. I get if it was the odds were if there was maybe 3 or 4, but he split 2.
Mm-hmm.
Once he turned, there was 3 coming at him, and from what I can tell, there was a stack of players behind them. So he had to go through at least 6 players, I believe, to break it, or he had a pass right there. He could have given away to a teammate right there in the middle of the pitch. He didn't do that either. He started to go up the pitch. So I think as a goalkeeper, you have to see that and assume that your player can make that maneuver. I don't know if Skelly is a player that's going to be able to split those 2 defenders and get by. I know there should be a foul that comes back anyways. That goal would never count, we would think, in the Premier League, right? Because there would have been a foul on a play that turned into a goal. so it would have come back most likely if if Arsenal gets the right call by VAR. But in general, he had people wide open on the outside, and then if he gets past those, then maybe he passes it to it might have been Norgard or whoever it was in the middle there, and then him and Skelly could have maneuvered through the middle of the pitch if that's where we wanted to go. So that was my thought. But some people said you don't expect your defender to you don't expect Skelly to lose the ball like that. It was a heavy touch. It was a heavy touch. He wasn't. I don't think he gets to that ball even if he doesn't get tripped.
Yeah.
It was a heavy touch.
It's just an unnecessary pass, really. I think, and I had someone saying, "Well, the foul," and I'm like, but again, like we're not talking about the foul here. We're talking about the decision making. That's the concern. Because like it's like if you have, I'm sure both of you have played a football game, and I'm talking American football on the video game system. And you throw a pass, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw this pass," and the minute you throw it, it gets picked off by the CPU or you're playing online. You're like, and it's the minute you throw it, you're like, "Nope." And I'm wondering if Ryan, when he made that pass, is like, "Nope, that was bad." Because like you force it anyway without even really thinking about the consequence because you think you can make it. And that's a concern. Again, I don't think Raya's going to be upset by Kepa. I'm not starting that train. I'm not calling for Kepa. It was something that burnt me up, and I was ticked off about it for like 2 days, unhealthily ticked off about it. Because for one, I don't care if it's a friendly or not. Don't lose to that team, period. And two, like it's just unnecessary. It just was such. And that was it reminded me of the Ramsdale chip. You know, I got to go back and rewatch that one, but it's like as a keeper, like you can't get caught off your line like that. I've been caught off my line. It sucks. But it happens. But it should happen. It should happen when I'm playing at the field house as a 38-year-old nobody. But when you're a 29-year-old top of your game, it probably shouldn't happen. You know?
I could see you doing goalie, but you have this giant backpack on, and you just have cats jumping out where you're not at.
That's what we're trying to do. I need whatever help I can use. But those are the things that stuck with me on those first 3 games. And again, I didn't see the other 2, but I'm sure we'll get into more. But that's my thoughts.
You know, you brought on a good point because I guess as much as I loved seeing Dalman play, so I don't know why I would say that. It was much of the same for let's just say for the starters and for the squad players from last season for me. But as you said, Dalman definitely stood out. I would have liked Nweri to get a better look when he played. He seemed to be playing with Moreno a lot, and I don't know if that's ever going to work because Moreno doesn't really support him enough. And so for me, that didn't help. And I think in those first couple of games, and where he did come on, but he didn't look so good. People said he didn't look so good, but I kind of felt like he's still young, and he's not going to be able. He doesn't show that same style that we saw from Max Dalman, and maybe Max Dalman is different. I believe if we're going to talk about the levels, I think Max Dalman is at a different level than in where he is, but I think they're both talented players. So yeah, no, for me, Dalman definitely looked really good there. Is he ready to start? No, but he's ready to support or provide some support for the squad. Let me go through the chat. Got a couple of people who joined us. Just a second here, Tony. Got Steven in the house. Thanks for joining us. He's working, so he's just listening to us. I believe that means he's in the car. So don't say anything that makes him laugh, Tony. All right. Okay. Played the starters finally and yeah. I just don't understand why we didn't do a lot more of that. And I think in one of the two games that we lost, that stood out when we didn't have a decent midfield and we paid for it. Rat Stadium, I don't know what that means, but straight from the 36 chambers, the Zubamendi hype is real. Yeah, we'll get into him as well because he looked really good when he's played. Looked really good in the last one. Told you BX and all the negative Woody saying Partey is way better than Zubi. Oh, you know what? I guess we don't really talk about him, but they're different types of players. So I think you get different types of things from them. I think Yeah. I'm not going to say one's better than the other because I think they offer different things. Defensively, I think Partey definitely is a good eraser of mistakes in the middle of the pitch. We haven't seen that from Zubi yet, but we know that he will push the ball up the pitch really faster than Partey. So there we go. All summer was an easy call that we upgraded Norgard. I don't know if Norgard's better than Jorginho. he might be younger and springy, but I don't know if he's better. Jorginho comes with a lot of experience, which I think you're not going to get it from Norgard, no matter how.
To me,
many years
that's
he
still
played.
one of the worst mistakes of the last year is just barely playing. I believe it was November before he finally played. Kept riding Partey, knowing all the baggage that came with him.
Yeah.
And then now he's out on bail. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We don't play that game, so I mean, I'm not surprised by how that worked out. But I think if we would have, I have a feeling if we would have just re-upped with him, none of this would have come out. But we don't know. We don't know.
I like both the players.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is hard to say that Norgard is better than Jorginho. I think they'll have the same impact, if that makes sense. Maybe a little bit more from Norgard. Where I think Jorginho, by the time he came to us, I thought he was a good signing for what they paid and what we got out of him. Thought it was a pretty decent move. I just don't. I think you're going to get more value added from Norgard than you will from Jorginho. But the overall body of work and who the player is coming in, it's hard to really put Norgard above Jorginho, if that makes sense.
Yep. No,
but I can make an argument. But I think if you feel that Norgard would be better than Jorginho, I don't think because you got to talk about when they come to you, what time they come to you. I think in that, if you talk about Jorginho and the history of what he's done, I mean, obviously, their resume, Jorginho's got a highly bigger resume than Norgard, but we're also looking at what they're going to do for Arsenal. I'm excited to see what Norgard brings, especially with that rotation with Zubimendi, which again, I think, and we'll get into this later, but I think I may have a surprise for who starts Sunday. So,
yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I hear you. Got Anders in the house. Thanks for joining us, Anders. Yes. Played out to the side. White was wide open, but Ego wants to make a magical through ball in center as a keeper. Yeah, I don't think Ego had anything to do with that. I have no doubt that some of the instructions that he's given includes putting that ball through the middle.
I think he just forced it and made a mistake, and after it was done, was like, "Ooh."
That's not the first time we've done that, and that's not.
I agree. I agree.
And that's not the first time I complained about our goalkeepers putting our midfield in positions where if they're not quick on their feet, they will get caught out.
I mean, if Gabriel's there making that pass, as much as I don't like it, it's more understandable. Regardless, because at least you'd have Gabriel then goalkeeper. Not here's the goalkeeper. Here's the left back, and where are your center backs at? Where are you guys at? Spread wide. So,
yeah, like I said, I don't feel it's a player doing this versus a plan of attack from the.
To me, I think the player made a mistake. That's what I think.
I wouldn't agree. I would say no because I've seen it too many times from not just one goalkeeper of Arteta's. So I don't believe that's true in my eyes, anyways.
It's both. It's what will players being asked to do, and you still have the vision to see. Oh, he's there. I better not make this because it's gonna be bad. So you don't make it. But I also think it's like. First you pop up with one devil on your shoulder, then the other one shows up, and he's like, "Oh, the coach said to pass it," so he goes ahead and passes it.
So then it's not his fault if that's what you're saying. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't believe it's a player.
It's his fault because he still sees the vision.
It's not an ego of the players. One thing I'm trying to say. It's definitely not an ego. I think it's actually instruction. That's what I believe. And
But
and maybe he makes that pass sooner, and then we don't see that. Maybe he makes that pass later, and we don't see that. Maybe the player comes back because the pass is slow. Multiple things could have happened. Maybe he goes out wide
Yeah.
because Skelly moves into the wrong position and it gets cut off. So there's little things. I think, like I said, don't think it's an ego. Definitely feel like it's just the way we play, and we get punished for it too many times. Yeah, VAR hates us, but you know what? I think hopefully things will get better. We said Ethan was just as exciting last preseason, if I remember correctly. I didn't say he was. He was more exciting last season than this one for me. For me, so
I don't remember getting excited about Ethan at all last year
he and
until
he
the
and he
regular
and he
season.
and Skilly in the preseason. If you don't remember, unless I'm getting my preseasons mixed up,
I don't
um,
remember him
he
either.
looked really good in one of the one of the games that we played over in where we played, and yeah, yeah, I think that was last season. Yeah, this last season. Yeah,
I
he
remember
made
Skelly, but I
he
don't
made
remember him.
Skelly came on and there was a I'm hearing myself. Is that I don't know so
I mean, I'm not saying
yeah.
it didn't happen. I just don't remember it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
he made a turn with a defender on his back, which was like nice. That's what. Yeah, he can play midfield for me. It's kind of the
we
thinking
didn't
I
Mine's in
got
even
my
when I
play
saw.
ears.
last
So.
preseason. Like I remember it was United at the LA Rams Stadium, SoFi. I'm trying to remember who else Arsenal played at.
It was United at East Rutherford because I watched that one.
Sure, that wasn't 2 years ago.
So we played United last year as well at SoFi.
I think we played United at SoFi, and then there was the Liverpool game at the Eagle Stadium, Lincoln. There was that one which Arsenal lost.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember this. Like
I didn't think
I'm going to take people's
I-
word for it. I'm not saying they're wrong. I just don't
Yeah.
really remember. It doesn't. I've seen a lot of sport in the last year.
True. Yeah, I don't know now. I don't know. But I definitely saw him good in the preseason. Maybe it wasn't the last one. Zubamendi looks like a Terry out there. I like his style. Cool. Norgard better for what we need, Gary. Subbing in Georgie not good at all. And Norgard brings more to table. You're saying that based on the way he left, not the way that when he came in. He was pretty good for us. I'll say that. And there were games we've won with him in the field of play. So I not sure about that. I mean, Norgard we'll see how Norgard does. I expect him to do all right. I mean, Zubamendi's I think the gap between Jorginho and Partey and Zubamendi and Norgard, we'll see how big the gap is. We'll see.
Personally, I thought Jorginho his first year was a lot of times our best midfielder, and that played out as if you paid attention in points and wins. Because when he played, we got 3 points more
Are
often
you
than
talking
not.
about last season?
No, his first season.
Oh, okay.
Season before. I was mad last season because he just kept not putting it on. Like I said, I think his first time playing was in November. There's no excuse for that. Partey's injury prone. Why you want it resting makes zero sense to me.
Well, he played many a game last season, so I guess they just needed to get him right. Norgard is the Partey replacement, in my opinion, with Zubamendi replacing Jorginho. Zubamendi and Jorginho are registered. I don't know how you. Okay, all right, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but in most people's eyes, we didn't really want to replace Partey. We just wanted him to move to the bench. But we didn't want to spend the money. Chris Nick's in the house. Thanks for joining us. Not Brett May is in the house. Arsenal relegation fodder. Okay. You've not been watching football lately, have you? Arsenal will win 0 trophies. Okay. You're a hater. Nice.
You're picking up quickly on this one.
This guy doesn't like my team.
I think you found a.
Gary's letters usually, thanks for finding our channel.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for joining.
Should
Just make
be
sure you subscribe and like, my
welcome.
man. Yes. The beginning of last season, they were making waves. Oh, who's that? I don't know who's
Some
making
of
waves.
your boys.
Who's my boys?
In Weary and MLS.
Oh yeah, no, I believe they did look good going into the season. Everybody's expecting in Wary to look
I
the
thought
part
he looked good in the season. I don't remember. I don't remember it before the season. I remember him every time I remember every time regular season he looked good, and I kind of just kept insisting not to play him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what's gonna happen with Dowman.
Yeah, to be fair, Dowman looks better than they did. You know, Dowman definitely is. Like I said, he is a really good player. So yeah, he probably looks better than they did at 15. They weren't moving up and playing under their age. So I would say, yeah, he's better than them, which is good. But I think they are good players as well that could start for Arsenal. So Dowman might knock one to the bench, but that's just how it goes.
Ideally, you would keep him for the cup, and depending on who you're playing in the Champions League.
Well, he can't play in the Champions League until next year anyway, so he won't be playing anytime soon.
And then send him to Germany for a year.
No, he can play in all the other matches. We have more than enough matches he can play in. He just can't play in the Champions League. There's only 8 matches in the Champions League. There's going to be 20 plus games in English football up until the new year. So I don't think there's no. He has opportunities to play for sure. I'm letting him get his feelings out, Gary. Hey, you know what? He hasn't said anything he deserves to get knocked out for. So I would say, it's all right. We don't have only Arsenal fans in our chat, anyways. So, and not all the fans in our chat actually speak speak glowingly of Arsenal, anyways. They like to see us lose, which is just part of the job. So, as long as they're not being, rude and all that other stuff that goes with it, it should be easy to let them go. But they're just like having some banter. That's fine. The Dow Jones, man, looks incredible. I'm buying stock in that lad. Yeah. He looks pretty good. Yeah. So the next 2 games, we're moving along here. 2 losses. I guess the first one versus that team, and then we played Villarreal. I guess the good news was in between those 2 games, Gyökeres essentially joins the team. We figure we get to see him soon. That game against that team, that was terrible. That was just terrible watching it. I mean, did we look like we're going to score? No. Should we have scored? I think so. And then the way we gave up that goal, I mean, we gave that goal, that's one thing, but we don't even get a goal ourselves. I think that's even more disappointing than I think that's the problem I think I saw there.
And opportunities were there too.
Yeah, I don't even remember our misses. Usually I would remember the misses, but I don't remember the misses. The game was ugly. Now, if you guys remember anything about that game that stood out, we could have scored there and there. I don't know specific scenarios where I went, all right, we should have scored there. I didn't feel like we were playing anywhere. Like they were sitting in a low block, I believe, and we were not. We didn't really have a plan to break out of that. And so they played. I mean, they played to get something out of the game, and they did. We didn't. I don't think we took in enough risks like we need to. And if I recall, Norgard started that one as well. And Zubimedi maybe came on late in that game.
Yes.
Second half in that game, if I recall. And we did get to see Gyökeres, I think, late in that game. But like I said, I think if that's the game I'm thinking of, I believe that's one of those games where you've your midfield just isn't right yet. And Zubamendi, once again, I would like to see more of him. Definitely in the next game versus Villarreal. I don't think we have either. And that game was with starting Gyökeres, but I felt like our midfield was basically that chasm between the back line and the front line. Having Moreno and Rice and Ethan, I believe it was what that midfield was, if I recall. I don't think that works. Ethan is not, there's nobody there to kind of help him. He's got to try to break through 2 and 3 players, if I recall.
Martinelli, Havertz, Saka, Rice, Odegaard, White, Saliba.
No, is it Norgard, Moreno, and Ethan in the midfield?
Unless they were subbed out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, those 2 games, ugly, and I don't know what, if anything, Arteta got out of them as to at least to say, look, let's not. Hopefully, we never have to go to that midfield. Let's just say that. Hopefully, we don't have to go to a midfield with Moreno, Ethan, and if it's Norgard, we have, it just didn't work.
That's a scary thing. I still think we're very short on the midfield.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I don't see us getting another. Well, we might get another midfielder.
Oh, we have one, but we won't play him there.
Who's that?
Kelly.
Yeah, but then who's going to play left back right now? We don't really. I think he's a left back right now. Yes, we need to get.
He's your most reliable left back right now.
I still like I like Timber better there. Put Timber there. Put White. No, and you'll be happy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking forward to seeing White come back. So you know what, you might have a point there, but I kind of feel like Arteta is going to. He's going to err on the side of, you know what? Let me make sure my defensive solid, and I'll rather have depth on the defensive line than I do on the midfield.
I think we're going to see White and Timber play fullback this year together at the same time. I think we'll see it. I do. I don't. I think Scully's number 1 position right now is the left back position. I don't know what the long-term future is for him. I think he's filling a void. And he's really good at it. So he's obviously not a bad left back. He's healthy. He can do a good job. I would like to see him in the midfield. I do kind of agree with Tony on that. I think from a defensive position in the midfield, I think we're fine. From an attacking position in the midfield, I think we're light. That's my concern. Because you can put Rice at the 6, you can put Zubamendi at the 6, Norgard at the 6. That's fine all day. But who are your providers? That becomes the question. You have Odegaard, you have Nweri. Outside of that, I mean, maybe you could put Saka up there to play. I mean, not Saka, but Havertz to play kind of like a 10 role. I still feel like you're kind of short in that position. Again, like if you bring in an Eze, that probably answers that question. Maybe, but the Eze saga is now. You've got the first game is going to be the 17th, and Eze's not on the team. So I hate that for the fact that we potentially don't have the full 25-man roster that we're going to roll with this year. But if it gets done, it gets done. I still think you got people that can get the job done. But I kind of have to agree with Tony. I don't know if Tony agrees with my assessment there about on the attacking side being light, because I think from a 6 perspective and a defensive holding midfielder, I think you're fine.
That's been my problem is you can't penetrate the middle. You can't just go straight. And that's been there for 2 or 3 years. And like I said earlier, it's like the last 5 years I've been largely disappointed with the midfield because last year you get Mourinho doesn't work there. Year before, Havertz doesn't work there. So you have to find the places those guys can work.
I'm wondering now, having an actual out-and-out striker, if this might help out with the long-term outlook of being more direct too, right? I'm gonna say something, and it's not my opinion, but I've been hearing because again, like I didn't get to see Saturday. I saw a highlight reel, so highlights can make a lot of judgments. But there's people now who didn't want Madueke to be here, now calling for him to be starting left wing. Have you heard those rumblings?
Nope.
I have.
I've heard people saying. I've heard people saying because we didn't get a left wing, we have no choice but to maybe play Madueke there.
That's exactly what I'm hearing. I'm hearing people say that Madueke is a better option than Martinelli currently at the left wing position.
I think it's a matter of I need to see something else. That's more the case. It's not he's better. It's like, well, if you're not going to bring anybody in, well, at least give this guy a try. He can play there. Like
I will say
if
that
we're gonna say that we bring in Eze and play him out of position, right? He's not even a wing, right? Then playing Madueke out of position, but he is a wing. What's the the risk is to me almost the same, right? He can play on the left, just like Eze can play on the left. As a, that's not their preferred positions based on what we've seen. So for me, kind of felt like that's the reason. It's not necessarily that Madueke. I don't like, and we'll get into this. Let me just say hi to a couple people, and we'll finish up with the Madueke talk. BBK Sports is in the house. Welcome to the show, BBK. For those who know Tehran, check him out. His show, I think he goes daily. Definitely does some other sports, but he's an Arsenal fan like us. Me and him, he calls me the waffler because I'm on one side. It seems like I'm on one side of the fence. He's on the other, but we have good discussions. So I believe we see each other. Oh, Moss, yeah, I don't know about you. Gotta, yeah, I don't know about that one, Moss. You might, have to, yeah. Everybody has their mods that kick people out. So I got my share, and so sometimes you have to read the room and see how things work out in the chat to know how you should present yourself. There you go. Be saying hello to Ron. Madueke and Martinelli may be splitting duties. I'd like Luckman. Yeah, see that's the thing. People are like, can we just get a left wing? If we're not gonna get a left wing, then right now you're getting unless Madueke shows us something, which he showed us something, but anything different from what we got from Martinelli, I don't think we saw enough right now. He's gonna take a couple of games.
I saw that the crosses he made in the game on Wednesday looked pretty decent. Just people need to be better at getting behind them. But again, you brought a guy in. I think BX's next comment's going to come up. If you're not going to go buy a left wing, this is your opportunity, Madueke. Make Chelsea regret it.
Mm-hmm. Nope. You're right. Yep.
Is Waneri capable of playing there?
I think Waneri can play anywhere on the pitch where attacking is required. I mean, you let me finish. If it has something to do with attacking, I think you can play him. Sacker can play anywhere except for goalkeeper. He can play definitely, fullback anywhere in the midfield up top if needed, right? So I don't know about center back just because of his height. He might be a little deterrent there. Easily to go over him, but I kind of felt like, there's footballers and then there's players that can play, play football, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Happened this morning again. Mods are whack because they hate Arteta and negative. We have to bend to them. I'll tell you this, Moss. I've been in many a chat on many a show where I am definitely the apologist for Arteta, and I still think. So I don't know about that.
I still think that there is people out there in the YouTube atmosphere, and I'm talking content creators that push the Arteta out narrative, and the people that really legitimately believe Arteta should leave gravitate to that. Whereas I think you kind of look for your own echo chamber. But I don't think people really want to have it. They want to have a discussion, but a discussion that fits their worldview. Not
as I said, I go on the shows that I am definitely more the apologist for Arteta, or I don't even apologize. I tell people all the time, here's how I see things, and I am an Arteta. I'm an Arsenal fan.
Yep.
What's good for Arsenal is what is good for me. Arteta leaving, if they're going to keep Arteta, they need to help him.
Mhm.
I say it all the time. And
Yep.
so far this season, this summer, they're helping him. He needs support in different areas of the pitch, and so far they're doing that. We'll see if they complete. They need to complete it. I think we're still 2 attackers short, but I feel like that's what needs to happen for Arteta to get everything he has. And that's when the discussion will be: is he the right man at that point?
Yes.
And he'll get I believe he'll get everything he needs to win trophies for sure. But to win the big ones, I think he might be a little short. He has to overachieve for whatever he gets. That's my thing, and I don't think he's been doing that. People will say, "Well, he's finished second." I'm like, "Yeah, but we need to cross the line," and so that's when he overachieves.
Yeah.
Is when he takes the team and gets them to places nobody expected. Nobody expected United and Chelsea
Mm-hmm.
and Newcastle and Crystal Palace to do the things that they did in the last 2 seasons, right?
And I would remind people, if we lost our last 2 games, we would have been out of Europe.
But we didn't.
But we were that close.
Yeah,
Well, we wouldn't have been out of Europe. We would have been in a different European competition, technically, right?
No, I think it would be all the way out of Europe.
No, we're not. I don't think you think we were that. Nah, we were definitely in Europe last season. We were definitely in Europe last season. What?
I thought they had.
No,
I
because
thought they had 7 teams are.
so you're saying if we had
filled up.
60, you saying if we had 68 points, right? Which is what would have happened if we didn't win our last 2
Got to be good
matches?
enough for fifth.
Yeah, and that's if Chelsea does. Now you're saying if we lost 2, and if Chelsea didn't win it lost one of their games or drew one of their games, they would be behind us in 5th. So you can play this game all you want. Everybody has an opportunity to win out or not. So Chelsea may not have done what they needed to do either. All right.
But it was a very poor league.
So, no, but
And
you're
we
saying
should-
if you're saying we could lose 2 games, that would mean that Chelsea could lose 2 games.
we should have done a lot better.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think we should have.
It still, to me, parallels that Leicester season, even though the rest of the league wasn't terrible.
I don't think so. I don't think we ever played where I felt we were going to get we got that unless we made a move in January, which we didn't make a move in that January, and we didn't make a move in this January.
Or in the summer for a striker.
Well, just go with January because that was definitely when we could have seen maybe a difference. But got Tiger and Guna in the house. Thanks for joining us, Tiger and Guna. Said I hate Arteta being our manager, Moss, and you know this, man. Yeah, no, see, and you and Moss seem to be able to chat without having it, So I don't know. Like I said, sometimes you have to know how far you can go with your chat, depending on whose show you're on. You go into a show where they're pro Arteta out, and you're not, and you guess you talk back, then they may kick you out. They may time.
That's
you
the
out.
worst part about it is like people that just can't deal with a different opinion, and then and I'm like, my biggest concern with it is like I don't mind a good discussion with people. I think especially if it's respectful and everything, but if you're at a point where someone has a different opinion and you just want to like kick them out, like how do you function in your actual job? That's what I want to know. Like it's a legitimate concern of your just in general. Like it's weird, but anyway.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm Arsenal, and if Arteta has to go, I'm all right. I'm not going to lose any sweat over it.
No,
if he's going to stay, then I think there's ways that can work out. That's kind of the way my fandom works. Because I've been a fan of many teams where either the managers or the players weren't to my liking. We still needed to find a way to do it, or else what's the point? I'm not going to watch them. Not going to watch them. Erdegaard smacked that shot in beautifully to win the end of last season. Yeah, no, he started to come around, but that's the thing is we needed to see a lot of that last season when he was healthy, and we didn't see it at all. So, yeah.
Doesn't this season have to be where he has heavy things you have to accomplish this, or you're not going to be here next year?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, I don't know much more. What more can he's competed He competed on 3 fronts last season. The only way he goes for here is compete on 4 fronts and win a trophy. You know,
We really
that's kind of
we really completed for 3.
we completed. We were in 3 positions to win 3 trophies last season. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Do we have a chance of winning the Premier League? No, but we're better than everybody else, and we were struggling. So I don't know what else to
So
say about that.
that's why I said that, because I just don't think we competed for it.
No, but
I mean, if you're in 2 semifinals,
yeah.
and if you're also in second place, and I mean, you were relevant all year. I mean, you played relevant games all year.
A lot of domestic cups in January.
Yeah, I mean, the FA
Which are
Cup is
still records.
absolutely an utter failure. No question, considering how bad that United team was. That was horrific. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that should have been a cakewalk for us to get to the FA Cup, as bad as some of those teams
And then
were.
for me, that's where Arteta let his team down with some of the way he coached and the way he got his team up for the game. I mean, yeah, we should be able to beat them with what we had on the pitch for sure. So, and they go down a man and you're still not able to win it. I mean, what does he play? It's like playing for a draw, and they've got a man down. You know, at some point you got
What
to
we
take the risk.
finished with 14 draws.
14 draws, and I think 7 or 8 from leading position, from winning positions. So there's basically 14, at least 14 points dropped there. We lost the league by 10, and one of those draws was to Liverpool. That makes a difference. If we win that game, right? We win that game. That's a 2-point swing right there, right? And many of the games that we drew, ugly. We even lost games that we shouldn't have lost. We lost as many games as Liverpool did, right? And one of those losses is to West Ham.
Yeah.
I don't think we're that bad to lose to West
It
Ham.
was just, I mean, you can blame Arteta for stuff because
Yeah.
I know that's where the buck stops in a lot of people's mind. But I just saw a lot of times players made bad decisions last year that led to draws, and I mean, it's a new season.
Yep.
I just, again, he's been given a lot of ammo to absolutely push through and accomplish something this year. You can't argue that.
Yeah.
So they spent almost £201 million or whatever, and it'll probably end up being another $260 if they get Eze. Because I don't think they're going to get 2 attackers, Gary. I hate to say that. I think it's going to be 1.
No, they need to get 2.
I agree. I don't think it's going to happen though.
But like that's the thing. I'll say it, and I'll say I'm gonna repeat what I always say. We don't just need to get there. We need to give ourselves even better odds than just getting there. And the only way we do that is if we bring in 2 attackers. There are definitely 2 attackers in our graph. We are looking at 2 attackers to come in.
Who's the second one? I only know that's
it could be Rodrigo. It could be Leao.
What, that Rodrigo train's still a reality.
Still a reality.
You know all the people, man. You got all the hookups.
I tell you, you don't want to believe me when I tell you. It's still. Is it like is it like closer than Eze? No. But it is an option on the table.
Eze and Rodrigo are starting to sound like deadline day moves right now.
And when it happens, it happens. If it happens late, is that worse than it not happening at all?
It only matters if we're behind the 8 ball come August 31st.
You know what I mean? Like, so for me, if we get 2 players that we feel will help us, and we get them, then we get them. And
I want your confidence level. I love it. I'm all for it. I want to be wrong about this, but I think we're only getting 1.
Yeah, I hear you. And
I mean, now, granted, if there's a world where Martinelli and Trossard get moved, I could see 2. Yeah. If that's what we're talking about here.
There's Trossard, there's Zinchenko, and there's Nelson that are players that could be gone by the end of the week.
And then you also got to look at what you're going to do with your young players. Are there any youth prospects that you saw in the preseason tour that might wiggle their way into the first team? I mean, the Dowman one is the interesting one. I feel like they're going to probably loan him. I I just don't know, man.
Why would you loan? Why would you loan him? What's he gonna? What are you gonna get out of loaning him?
First team minutes somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't. So here's the question now. I know we've kind of kept Tony out of this conversation, so again, I apologize, Tony, but chime in whenever you're ready. What's going to be different with Arteta's handling of Dowman like he did in Weary? Have you seen something different between the two? I mean, to me, Dowman looks better than Weary, but if Dowman gets minutes, that means he's taking minutes from Weary.
Why are they taking minutes from each other at all?
Because Arteta's not
No. I'm just saying you're saying that you say
set-
if you can say they're taking minutes from each other, I could say they're not even taking minutes from each other.
So you think there's a world where they're both on the field at the same time?
Maybe not. It doesn't have to be, but yeah, they could be on the same on the pitch at the same time. Yeah,
I think you can get away with that. Yeah. I think my thought process is like a Leeds United, right? And of course, Tom's going to hear this and clip this, but a Leeds United's a game where you could rely on a Dowman and Weary set up, where you think those two young guys could probably do something for you together. Yeah. Not starting the game, but 60th minute, come on, I need another 35 minutes from you two. Go out there and make some magic happen. And they're so young and so good that they might make what's the word I'm looking for? They may make. They're just so young and so inexperienced that they may do some brilliance, right? Because there's just that lack of fear.
Yeah, and and that's why I feel like for me, I would give Dowman a chance. I think we are better suited to give him those minutes now. I mean, within Weary, probably not as much, but I think we're getting as the team gets older and wiser, and we bring in more established players in some certain scenarios like we have. Yeah, why not? And that's why for me, I don't like Moreno being in there with in Weary, but there are other most of the other midfielders would work out. Let me go through the chat real quick here. Confidence level for the United match, guys. I'll let you guys go first. Tony?
Kind of sitting there in the middle. Could go either way.
What does that mean? I need a little bit more information than I'm 50-50. Come on.
I'm not overconfident. I'm not underconfident. It's just kind of
that don't you're not get holding back on me. All right, Spencer, talk to me. Confidence level for the United match.
Pretty high. I mean, 7 out of 10. It's a rival, so there's always going to be that, what can ever happen. But it's the beginning of the season. Yorker has his first game. I got it pretty confident. I'm just trying to figure out a way to get off work in time to be able to watch it. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. So,
what time is the game?
Sunday, 11:30.
Okay. All right.
I mean, unless someone blesses me and says, "Hey, man, get out of here," I might be watching it on my little phone. I got a good confidence level on it, man. But I think even we've taken lesser teams there recently, and I mean, what last year didn't? It was a draw last year. I can't remember.
We don't have a very good opening weekend record. Doesn't matter who the coach is.
We'll see.
I'll say this. I feel, I guess, confident about our defense. I don't think our defense is going to take too many steps backwards, and I don't think their defense is anywhere near ours.
Right.
So for me, I feel like if I'm gonna have Rhea, whoever's on our back line, don't matter. Because we're solid there. We have 3 fullbacks. 2 of them will play. Gabriel just played, so it looks like he'll be starting come game time. Zubamendi and Rice, and then at that point, I'm solid on our defense. So unless you're telling me the defense is gonna be a struggle, if the defense struggles, then maybe that keeps the game tight. But I think defensively we'll be fine. Well, they've got new players trying to figure things out. but we got one of the better defenses in the place, so I think we'll be able to nullify that. The question comes up is, how is Erdegaard going to play? Saka, we know, usually brings it. Eucharist will be our variable or up top, right? And then that left wing, right? And for me, we should win this game. Yeah, I know. I mean, 2-0
I'm
at
still
best.
dependent
2-1,
on
2
Odegaard.
2-1.
Still
I don't
dependent on
think
Odegaard.
I don't think Erdegaard is going to be the reason why we struggle, because I think we're good in all the other aspects of the game. All right. I don't think he's going to make mistakes that's going to cause problems. He hasn't before, so I'm not expecting it now. So I just go by what I've seen and what I kind of feel based on
I just think
where we
it's
are.
what he's asked to do,
Yeah.
Gary. He's asked.
Yeah, but
to start back there and-
if he's asked to do the same thing that we've done every season, he's not going to be the reason why we lose games, because he wasn't before. All right.
Yeah,
But if Saka is healthy, if Zubimendi is what we believe what we've seen from him, right, and he plays the same way, right, we know Rice is going to bring it. Right?
But if Odegaard's going up there and getting goals, that quick way erases those draws because there's your extra
I'm just
goal
telling you,
you
I don't think Erdegaard is the reason why we lose this game.
I think we're forgetting one thing here, and we're talking about what we're going to do. But there is something to fear with United. They have Cunha, they have Mbueno, and now they brought in Sesko.
And we've played better.
I know
with the worst
but
teams. So
we
played better. We played
team.
better without Gabriel. So tell me why I should be that concerned if we're going to bring Gabriel back.
That was last season with a very poor from 5 to 15th. Especially, you can say 4th to 15th. I mean,
nobody's running away from us, and nobody's necessarily beating us as happened last season. So, like I said, I kind of, unless you guys aren't seeing the same football as I am, I think that our defense will be fine. It's always been our attack for me. So, yeah. Yeah, let me go through the chat. Let me go through the chat. Moss. Oh yeah, similar to BBK, you push out a lot of sports. So check it out. I'm not sure if this is the way to get somebody to help you out, my man. You should show it out your mods. I don't know about that, dude. It doesn't sound like you want to help a man out if they are being unruly. But that's just me. We ain't loaning kid at 15. So there you go. That's probably another reason why we probably won't loan him out. It's still too young. I just feel like we have a talent like that, and if it was a more, maybe next year when he's 16 going on 17, there'd be no reason to let him out. You might as well keep that talent in house and utilize him. All right. Is he Yamal? Is he Lamine Lamal? Probably not, but we don't need him to be. We just need him to be. Better than what we could bring in, probably. Most
turned
likely.
16 December 31st, so there's that.
Yeah, like I said, next year he'll be able to play Champions League. So we should hopefully still be playing in that. Yeah, I mean he was practicing with us last season, so I don't think that's a bonus. He's been doing that already, and for me, seeing him play the way he has, I'm not sure why that wouldn't be maybe we could utilize him in certain games, give him a little bit more exposure. So he's going to be always playing, as the youngest player on the pitch. So, we'll see.
So if he plays in the Premier League, will he be behind? Will he still be behind Waneri's record, or will he beat his record?
I think he'd
beat it.
Well, and where he came in for 5 minutes when he was 15, so I don't know. If Nweri can come in and play, I think the reason why Nweri was coming in to play is because they were concerned about whether he would want to stay. And Dowman sounds like a player that wants to stay, so it doesn't sound like he's turned.
I think Nweri wants to stay. He just wants to play.
Well, no. Supposedly the reason why they put him out there was because they wanted him to stay. You don't do that, I think, if your player's staying regardless, right? My understanding was they put him out there because, they wanted to let him know that, we want you to stay, which to me means you weren't 100% sure he was going to stay.
But if that was the case, why wasn't he playing with Odegaard was out?
That's on Arteta.
That's still, I think,
That's
one
on
of
Arteta.
our
That's not
biggest mistakes of last season.
Yeah. Let me see. We did not want anyone else coaching a super talent besides our club, especially these crucial years. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you say that, and then we put Saliba out there, and he came. Gave him 2 years, and he came back basically a starter. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about just because they go out and play under a different coach that it. Some players, as you guys have said, just need to go out there and play some football. Some players can work their way into the lineup. Saka never went out, and we don't go. You know what? He would have been better taken out alone. The situation is a little bit different with Dowling, but I feel like the process and the flow into the starting lineup could be similar in the sense that he'll just come in and play where we need him. He's a midfielder, but he can play on the wing. We've seen it. You know what I mean? So there are positions for him and times for him to play. All right, so I kind of felt like, you know what, he's a footballer. Just put him on the attacking side and let him go. Yeah. So when we went into the chat, we were talking about Red Wake. I think we're fine moving on from there, and we're talking about the last 2 games, I believe, or at least the last game, I guess, because we talked about the next 2. But the last game, remember what the lineup was for that one, Tony?
Which was the last game?
The last game, yeah.
I had it up. Where did it go?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let me see if I can pull it up myself here. Come on. Where's my? I got to go to favorites here. Favorites. Here we are. All right. So our starting lineup for this game, which I believe is as close as we're going to get to our starting lineup on Sunday, got Rhea, Calafiori playing out left. I guess I don't know. We don't know why. Does that give Skelly a little bit of a rest or not? We don't know. Gabriel, Saliba, and Timber. Sounds like at least 3 of them will be starting on Sunday. Rice, Zubamendi, and Erdogan. That's probably our starting midfield, unless anybody sees anything different there. Then you go from the right to the left, Saka, Eucharist, and Martinelli. At least 2 of those will be starting. Martinelli, I don't know who's going to take his spot right now because he's been, I think, getting a lot of the minutes. But at least from what I can see, at least 9 of those plays out in the field there will, I guess, yeah. Is that right? Do I have that right? Yeah, 8 of the 9 plays out in the field will be our starters.
And this is make a key difference.
I don't know. You have to read it. I can't see your screen. It's too small for me. And there's a lot. Everything looks blurry, dude. Just tell me. At least tell me. I can't read it. I know Spencer can read that.
I'll send it to a group.
All right. Yeah. For me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, Skelly looked like he's trying too hard in the preseason and getting himself in trouble. When he did that, that's what I felt like, because a lot of times he was getting run over, and get run by and stuff like that, putting himself in positions where he's basically not between man and ball or goal side or whichever one you want to call it. He putting himself in trouble. I felt like he was probably trying to do too much and didn't need to. At least get. I'd rather him defend first before actually trying to push on someone essentially. Not sure if I saw anything from any of the left wings that means Martinelli probably won't start. So those are the 2 spots. If you guys think anybody else.
I mean, I imagine we'll see Saka, Gyökeres, and Martinelli. That'd be my thought.
So,
I mean, it'd be a massive statement if Madueke starts over Martinelli from the club's perspective, but maybe not. It could be just riding the hot hand in their mindset, right?
Yeah. Or they were resting Madueke because it wasn't as if he hadn't been playing football for
Mhm.
most of the summer. So, you know, if they already seen enough of him and feel he's got enough, he took a rest, just like a player would when they
Yeah.
hit the red. But that game looked really good to me. I mean, we scored, essentially goals from, you know, not from set pieces or anything like that. Even though one did come off a set piece, but you know that could have happened in any kind of build up where the ball comes out. But it looked good the way we were creating. We scored in different ways. All right. That first goal from Zubamendi to Eucharist, that could come in multiple times when Saka has the ball out there on the right and then pushes it back to Zubamendi, puts in a cross. That could happen either off. It came off a cross,
Mhm.
but that could happen just on any sequence of play that we've seen from Arsenal. So, for me, I don't see it as a set piece play. The next goal with Martinelli to Saka, that I believe, if I recall, Eucharist kind of helped start that by coming back to get the ball, receive the ball, and then tap it forward to Martinelli, and he's got Saka right next to him, pushes it out wide to him, and he puts it in. You know, I could see that happening.
Mhm.
The next one is Saka with a nice touch. Nice ball. I don't know. I think he hits it backwards essentially, or taps it backwards, and Havertz runs under it and holds the defender off, and is able to put the ball away. Is that all? Is that all that building and all that mass that he's put on allowed him to do that?
I mean,
Is it?
can't hurt.
Yeah.
Getting bulkier and stronger. I don't think that hurts.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's actually what made a difference there, but I think him getting bigger definitely does help out. I know someone was talking about the competition aspect of it and how that you know plays into it now that there's competition there, and I think that plays in a part. But I think him getting bigger is just a part of what he needed to do, evolution of the game, and maybe it helps him out. I mean, I think you're going to need 10, 15 goals from him this season too.
He's given us 15 in
Yep.
a full season and 9 in an injury-riddled season.
Yeah.
So I think we expect 10, but we should be getting closer to 20 if he gets the similar number of minutes. And even if he doesn't, he might just be put in more positions to score when he comes on anyway.
Mhm.
So we might still see him get close to that 20
Yeah.
mark anyways, coming off the bench and starting some games.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see 20 goals and assists from him.
Yeah, I think he can. That's nothing, but I think closer to 20 goals would be the
Well,
marker.
if you really break it down perfectly, you'd like to see Saka with about 20 plus and Gyökeres with 20 plus, just straight goals.
Yep.
And then Odegaard, if you like to see him a double-digit assists for sure. Top 5 in the league and chances created too would be nice from Odegaard.
20 GA from him would be good.
Well, that's 60 goals right there if you think about it.
Well,
So,
not goals, but GA from.
well, yeah, no, that's what I'm
Odegaard.
saying. That's 60 scoring opportunities altogether.
Yeah.
That we're talking about there. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, my concern about Sunday is I just still feel confident Arsenal can get a good result. I just, Bueno, Cunha, with Bruno Fernandes, how is that going to work out for them? I still think Arsenal are really good defensively. I still think Arsenal can get at them defensively because I don't think they've improved that portion of their game at all. And then does Sesko even have an impact for them? Is that a thing? It's going to be a good game. But again, my concerns again, like if it doesn't start out well, there's going to be rumblings that we should have got Eze across the line before the game started. That's going to be the rumblings. If it goes well, and let's just say we're sitting here talking and you've got 6, what's the word I'm looking for? Let's say you got 6 points in two weeks and then Eze's across the line. Okay. I mean, that feels a lot better. But if these, I don't know what's the vibe of the fan base going to be if we start with 4 points in the first 2 games. I mean, we know what the vibe's going to be here. I'm just saying, like, the usual suspects are going to lose their mind.
I'll just say that to this: I don't care. I mean, it's you know what, the thing that, and I say this to you, and it's probably been a while since you've heard this or even remember this, but I'm taking performance over results, at least for those first 10 games, because I feel like we have a certain way we're going to play when we have everything working. If we see that and we're just not winning games, that happens. But if we're not even seeing a style of play that allows us to win most of our games, then I think that's going to be a problem going forward than it is whether or not we start out strong or not.
It should be a very weird start of the season for everyone. All these summer tournaments, late preseason, not much of a preseason.
Oh, okay, who's going to hurt more? The players that were playing in the summer? Because Arsenal only had one. Chelsea has pretty much all their team played. United, Manchester City had all of their players playing. Right. So who's it gonna affect more? It's probably gonna affect them more if you feel like that's the case. But it also might not. You might not see anything until the middle of the season, anyways, when the 2 sets of games show up. Then maybe you'll see that problem. I mean, we're already seeing right now that City isn't going to have Rodri until sometime in September, so he's going to miss the first, 3 or 4 games, probably 5 or 6 games before he's even ready to fully start. So they're going to be without their best player. That will affect them. Let me say hi to.
3 games and then So what do you have? 3 games, then the international break.
Let's see. Yep, 3 games, then you get the 2 weeks off. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's not coming back to September, so he'll probably miss. I guess he definitely will miss the 3 games. We got Miss Melina in the house. Thanks for showing. If you guys saw Miss Melina on earlier today, talking about some of the transfers and whatnot, you should check her out. Yes, and then Moss says here he's got Timber at left wing, and then Scully or Calafiore. Yep, and then White or Timber at right back. Oh. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Like I said, we've got the depth on the fullback, so it don't matter. Madueke or Martinelli, like decisions, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if Madueke really hasn't played much, so we'll see if that plays into if Arteta will do that. Right. We'll see if he does that. That will be strange for him to do that. I believe that Madueke starts because of the way we've seen him manage players coming in, even those that are in the league, But I mean, Rice, I think came in. I mean, he came in pretty with enough time to I think he played in every preseason game or was available for every preseason game. Madueke only got 2 tries at it, so different situations, but he did play football, so maybe it don't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter. But getting back to that, like I said, I don't know. From what I listened to in that game, and that was from getting it third hand from Dan Naguner. If you've seen his channel, check him out.
Mm-hmm.
We looked good, and like if you watch some of the videos, they looked good. Right, looked like we like a team that could attack. Saka looked really good. He was taking his man on. I did hear that discussion today, and you guys can probably jump in. Saka, the way he plays left wing and the way a lot of other players play left wing is so different in the sense that they look more like they're more threatening than he is, but he can get by anyone at any time. It's a slow going sometimes. You know what I mean? Like other players, just like you see like the Dowman going past people and you see Saka going past people. They do things differently. It looks everybody I think will like the way Dowman gets past his man as opposed to Saka. But they both get themselves in the same situations if they need to. Dowman does it. Yeah, go ahead.
It'd be good to have more than one person be able to do that ability of, I guess breaking through a defensive line, and I guess the thing we saw with Dauman during the preseason is he was not afraid to take on that run. So, I mean, it's going to be. My thought process is, having a better striker in there is going to take attention off of Saka. It's going to force the teams to think more about how they defend against us. We do need to find a way to be more direct this season, like having different avenues of approach. I think, again, if you can find a way to break teams down to the middle and go through the seams, I think
that's what I. Sorry, to cut you off, Spencer. But
no, you're fine. But one second, though.
Okay.
No, 1 second. And I think what I mean, if you break them down through the seams, you'll be still effective doing the stuff you do from the outside as well. If you have more than one ways to skin something, then that's going to help you out in the long run. Go ahead, Tony.
We were back to the 4-2-3-1 in that game. So hopefully that's what we see going forward. And if that happens, then Odegaard can score goals, get assists, help you more in offense, help you out with a goal scorer that can score the goal, which means a lot more points for Arsenal.
Yeah, I as much as yes, it makes a difference with the formation. I still feel like we're still supposed to expect to get that from him, regardless of what formation we're in. I feel like we still should be able to get goals.
I just think his defensive duty was so high. I think kind of like you just mentioned on Saka. I think that's kind of why he doesn't go, because he's thinking about defense, blocking out players, putting the pressure on.
You think Saka's not scoring because he's thinking about defense when he has the ball? So you just said?
I'm saying he's not just storming past the players like Dalman.
There's nobody up there when Saka gets the ball. That's my problem. When he gets the ball most of the time, if you look, he's looking back because he's waiting for his teammates to catch up to him because the ball's been pushed out there and nobody's there. Gyökeres will be there because that's what he says he wants to do. If that's Madueke out there, I believe he'll be out there across the side.
I think he'll have a lot of guys up there.
So I kind of felt like, you know what? I think Saka's doing that because his teammates aren't there.
But why don't you move? I personally would be moving every mountain I could to get rid of Martinelli at this point and getting Eze in.
Until Eze's in the house, that's not an option for us. And more than likely, even if he comes in, that's probably still not an option for us. Arteta might feel he needs to get a little acclimated to the team before we put him in there. Because he just played this weekend. So he might feel there's no reason to rush him. I don't think we need SA to win this game.
No, I'm just saying before things go too far, you want your players in.
But like I said, if Eze were to be on our team and he doesn't start, I don't feel like that's a problem. If he's not playing when we play Leeds, I think that's a problem. So yeah, that's how I feel about that one. Yeah, he will.
You guys are to wake somebody up if you mention that team a third time.
No, he won't be up. He needs to get his rest. He could be listening to us through his TV or something. So, but yeah, nah. We'll worry about that game when it comes. But like I said, I'm seriously going to take this one game at a time because I feel things will look different from games to games because we'll still be, we've seen Gyökeres play 60 minutes. At some point he's going to have to be playing 90 minutes for us. So yeah, Zubimendi not really played much minutes for us. There'll be also another player that we expect to play a lot minutes, right? At least
in this
first couple of months.
Might be a good time to bring back your fives, Gary.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Short little videos.
Yeah, no, I actually missed doing those. So yeah, I actually was thinking about that. I need to get back into that. My 5, yeah, I'll try and do a pre and post analysis of it because I know, if I just thinking of it right now, my 5 for this game, Eucharist 1. Saka, is he actually recover? Eucharist will, we'll see how we use him, right? Erdogan, I need to see the man come back, right? I guess it's going to be mostly our new players, Supermendi, all right? That whole left side, I guess, is going to be that right side, I guess, is, or is it, the left side. Is it left side? The right side. I think that right side could be pretty strong against them. I don't know if they're going to have answers. I don't know who the 5th player will be. Probably Martinelli. it's the whole pretty much the new guys in that front line basically is what it is for the 5. Because that for me there's not much more I can say about our defense and our defensive players in the midfield. All right, that's what there's not much more we can get out of them. Is Gabriel going to be fully back? I think he played well. I think he'll be okay to play against Manchester United, right? I was looking at their lineup against us. What is it here? You've got they're saying Sesko might start based on that's what SofaScore is saying. I'm not sure about that. I don't think he's even played for them yet. I'd be surprised he starts for them and against us. And even if he started for us, that would give us I think an advantage because I don't think he'll be ready to play in a Premier League match. And I don't think if Saliba and Gabriel can shut out Eucharist in a game, I don't think it's going to be too much fun from Sesko. Right? And if they have Cunha and Bueno there, then not sure we're going to see White play either because they're probably going to want to have some of our better defenders out there. So but with Zubimendi there switching gears as we get the ball, that might be our answer to that. They're pretty young on the outside there. They go with a 3-4-3. Doju and Diallo on the outside. Yeah, Diallo against Skelly. That could be we'll see how that plays out. Dorgu against Timber. I'm not sure that's a fair fight. I think we got that one. All right. Shaw, Delit, and Euro on that back line for them. I don't like to think we've got it. We've got, if it's Gyökeres against Delit, I don't know. I'm going to take our chances with that. And Benya Deer is who they might have in goal. I'm not sure who that guy is, but that might give us an advantage as well. So I think defensively they're going to be a little bit shaky. Offensively, they've got answers. But I think I don't know. I think I like our chances. Yeah. If you're saying that Cunha and Bueno, the reason why we struggle in this game, then I think we got problems. Especially when we have to play Liverpool in two games. I think Liverpool's the 3rd game. Right? I think it's Liverpool. No, it's Liverpool. So yeah. It won't be good against them. So yeah. Anything else? Talked about the games.
Really.
Huh?
Not really. Just ready for him to start.
Yeah, we just want to get these games on so we start talking about football. I guess Friday is the first game of the season. Who is playing on Friday? Anybody know?
I'm just glad it's not us.
Let's see. It's not. Yeah, I don't like us playing first. I mean, they always seem to want to set us up. Yeah. So the first. Oh, that's right. The first game is Liverpool against Bournemouth. Liverpool home to Bournemouth. So Bournemouth pretty much letting go a lot of their players, right? I think, if I recall, they've sold their whole entire back line. If I recall right, that's where Norgard came from, Bournemouth, right? I think, right? Or is it Brentford? It's either Bournemouth or Brentford. One of them has sold their entire back line for like 100.
Sorry, I was Brentford. Brentford is where Norgard came from.
Yeah, I think Brentford has sold their whole back line for like 167 million. So they're probably going to struggle. Bournemouth, I don't know. Who does Bournemouth have? Let's see. Anybody we know?
Calvert's still there, right?
Who? No,
Justin-
he's no, yeah, he's
Where'd he go?
who'd you say?
Oh,
Sorry.
Justin Clivert. He's gone,
No,
right?
no, he's there. He's there.
They still got
Evan
Semenyo, right?
Yeah, Semenya. So their front line is
Yeah.
Evan Nielsen, Clivert's right behind him. Semenya out wide. Tavernier is on the other side. You got Tyler Adams playing defensive. I guess that's the pivot with Scott. And then you got Trafford, Senesi, Hill, and Smith on that back line with Petrovic. So I don't know. I mean, the one thing I know at least about Bournemouth is they do play some proper football. They may not have the skill sets and talents of what Liverpool is going to put up against them, but yeah, it should be interesting. But Etikike will probably start unless Isak. Anybody think Isak will start even if he signs this week?
No, he won't start.
So
When do you have
Etikike.
to? When do you have to have that done by 3:30 Wednesday?
Oh, is that what it is?
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that's probably rushing it, right? That's probably
Yeah.
rushing it, and he hasn't actually played yet, right? He hasn't played a game in preseason.
I don't think he moves to Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'll make a prediction. I don't think he moves to Liverpool because, for one, I don't think Newcastle cares whether they make money off him or not.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and we went through this ourselves, right? He told them I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
So, and they either didn't put that message out there to the masses. Actually, they said the opposite. So I kind of felt like, you know what, he was probably doing a similar thing to what Eucharist was doing. I think he started his process a little too late. Like, I'm not playing. I'm not going to go on this trip. And it probably didn't work out for him. And it sounded as if, I don't know if anybody you think was going to pay the 150. Yeah, I don't think the 150 is.
I don't think it's going to go for that amount. I think it'll be closer to 130. But
yeah, I feel like Newcastle's not helping themselves out either. I'm going to hold on to a player. Maybe he comes back and plays balls out, or maybe not. But mentally, he's going to be looking at that door.
It's just to me, you have to be in the buy-in mood because a lot of these players are going to be wanting to play a lot. Because guess what? World Cup's coming.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And that's where these international breaks are going to be coming up because they're going to be playing with their home country, not in some stupid tournament they come up with.
You think there's any way Isak isn't playing for his national country?
No, but it's still, they still want to show what they have.
Yeah, I just think sometimes talent shines through regardless of how many minutes they get. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of players from the top flights are gone in the international breaks, and not too many from the other leagues. It doesn't matter whether you're starting or not. Sometimes, you know.
Yeah, but it's always been what happens is you want the minutes, you get the minutes, more exposure. A lot of times it's hard to win over those international coaches because they're more stubborn than.
But it's a talent. It's a talent thing,
country.
right? It's a talent thing as well, right? If that wasn't the case, then USA's goalkeeper, who is a second fiddle in our team, wouldn't even play. If you're saying that, and that's not true. It's definitely a talent ID thing. If you got the talent, doesn't matter if you're coming off the bench or starting. You might play for your national country, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Trossard, Jota, they weren't necessarily starters for their teams regularly, but they played, right?
They were contributors.
I mean, Norgard won't start for us, but I'll have a feeling he'll play for his national team. Yeah. So I kind of felt like it's a talent thing. If you got the talent, it doesn't always matter that you always get the minutes. So we have hit the 90-minute mark. It's been, I think we've been dragging this thing out a little bit too long. We haven't had much to talk about. We've been talking about the same stuff. I hope next week we are talking about Eze, and hopefully I get that surprise that I want, and that'll shut up Spencer about we can't bring in 2 attackers by the end of the window.
And
You've
Tony's
only
happy.
brought in one at that point.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully that we'll be talking about a second one.
Tony's happy.
definitely
Where's the
December.
midfielders at? Where's the midfielders at?
Yeah, I don't. Well, I hear what you're saying about midfielders. I don't think there's any midfielders we are looking at. So, Tony, talk to the people. Tell them what to do.
I'll finally be back to doing the show Thursday. It's in the hospital for 2 weeks. Kidneys shut down. A lot of other stuff happened, but that's too long of a story, and we'll be there another 20 minutes. But
And I don't have my medical reference manual either. So wait. Let me get that manual first before you start talking. Anything else, Tony?
it's good this fucking season started.
There you go. It's good to have you on the show. It's good to have you out of a hospital, and we appreciate appreciate what the doctors do to get you going because need to hear what you have to say. Even though I don't want to hear what you have to say. Even though I want to hear what you have to say, but I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm torn.
Okay.
Well, they really mean there for a second.
Spencer, talk to the people. Tell them where to go.
Well, hopefully Gary cares about what I have to say, Tony. Well, long story short, hopefully everybody has a good week. Yeah, so season starting. So now we can allow Arsenal to ruin or make our mood good for the next. I can't do the math till May, but yeah, looking forward to it, guys. Looking forward to another year of the road trip and the trip. It'll be fun. Glad to have you back, Tony. Glad to be here. Glad to ramble along and waffle as I so humbly can do at times. And thanks for everybody coming and listening to my opinions. So I will see you guys on the next one.
Yes. And I'd like to thank you again, Tony and Spencer, for joining me. I do appreciate your company. I do appreciate the back and forth. And yeah, we'll be talking about football this time next week. And as I said, hopefully it's 3 points in the bag and we move on to the next one.
And we could have Tony's medical class.
Yeah, and maybe we have Tony's medical analysis of what's going on with him. But yeah. Tony's been I think he's recovered enough to be able to chat with us, which is a good sign. So that's good. I don't know. I'm taking that as good recovery that you're back chatting with us. Is that right?
I don't know, Gary. You've seen me do like 6 shows to being in the hospital for 9 days before. So
that is true. But you're back here. You're actually home doing the show. I'm taking that as a plus. Thank you, Tiger and Gunnar. We will be chatting a lot more about the football and less, hopefully, of transfers as this thing moves on. Appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, subscribe and like. We'll do this thing again next Monday. We'll be back on the weekend when the season's in full force on the road trip, and then we have the trip a couple days later. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys on the next one.